Hello and welcome to Spicy Toast Gaming and our Gwen guide for Path of Champions. Please like, comment, and subscribe. We're just starting out here on YouTube and could definitely need the support. I hope you enjoy the video, and let's jump into the overview. Alright, the overview for Gwen. Now, normally we have a pro, con, and a mixed category, and that mixed category is for certain elements of the champion that I feel like can be positive or negative based on your own personal preference. For Gwen, everything just seemed like a positive to me. That being said, I could be a bit biased. Gwen is probably my favorite champion in Path of Champions. So if you think I'm missing something, that is definitely a negative, or if there's something I put in the pro category that you don't like, definitely comment down below and let me know your opinion on if you think I'm just biased towards Gwen, or if she really is just the best champion in Path of Champions. Alright, so let's get into the pros. No dead cards. And what I mean by that is there's really no cards in her starter deck that you just want to always cut every game all the time. Now, most champions, there's one or two cards that you'd be completely fine with just cutting and never playing with again. With Gwen, all of her cards are good, they all fulfill some role, and they're usually used in all of her games. So, I think she is the best made deck, and there's really no cards in there you just want to discard every time. Alright, next. Natural sustain. So Gwen, when she attacks, she's able to drain the enemy nexus, and this can just keep your nexus topped up or completely heal it if you get Gwen buffed enough. That is a huge power boost in Path of Champions. You pretty much never need to use the healer. You can always just cut cards, and it really helps you win games and win adventures that normally you probably wouldn't have been able to. Alright, next, she is very unique. She's one of the only Shadow Isles champions. No one else really has a deck quite like her. She's the only champion that uses Hallowed. No one else pretty much ever sees Hallowed units, and so it gives her a very unique playstyle, even more so than most other champions. Alright, like I just mentioned, she is one of the only Shadow Isles champion. The only other one is Vhagar, and he is part Bandle City, part Shadow Isles. But his are all just Yordle cards, essentially. She's the only one that actually really feels like a Shadow Isles champion. And then also for Path of Champions, certain adventures you have to win with certain regions. So being able to have a high-level Shadow Isles champion that you can clear those adventures with is very good. And so that's just another benefit to having Gwen leveled up and ready to go. Next is the consistent. Now, pretty much every adventure, if you are leveled up with Gwen, you can just go in and you know you are going to win. It's rarely ever that you will lose with Gwen when she's at a decent level and you got just a couple star powers on her. She can go in and just consistently win every single adventure, like 99 times out of 100. Alright, the backup win condition. Now, for a lot of champions, they have pretty much one main win condition, and then other than that, it's just hoping you play your cards right or just outlasting the opponent. With Gwen, she starts off with Atrocity. So what Atrocity does is it's able to kill your unit and then damage anything with the power of that unit. And with her Hallowed, she's buffing her unit's attack up to a large amount, and so you can just use that to finish the game if you didn't draw your Gwen or if Gwen got killed, and you can usually just use that to finish off the Nexus. So having that backup win condition is just another reason why her deck is so strong and why she can consistently win games even if you're having bad luck. Alright, low investment. You'll see this in the Gwen versus Galio match, but My Gwen is still just 2-starred, and yet she's able to still win all of the matches very easily. She doesn't take a lot to start winning games with. If you're wanting a champion you don't have to fully max out, Gwen is definitely the champion for you, because she's just able to win games with much less going for her than most other champions. Alright, now, last one is versatile. She's able to be built in several different ways, and she's able to, with all of her deck building, there's a lot of different ways you can play her, either with sacrificing a lot of your units, or just buffing your units up. There's a lot of different ways that you can play her to win, and that is why she's a good, versatile champion. The one con is that she is slightly champ reliant. Now, I did this slightly because most other champions are much more reliant on getting their champion. Now, Gwen is very strong. You can definitely use her to finish out games. Normally, you play her at 4 mana, and then you win that round. But if you don't draw her, you have a strong enough deck, especially with that backup win condition, that you can still consistently win games, even if you don't draw your Gwen. So that's it for the overview. I hope that gave you some good information. We'll now jump into game and look at some of her star powers, as well as the relics you want to use on Gwen. Alright, these star powers for Gwen. So the first star power is Needlework. Oh, actually no, it's snippets of song. So round start, if you don't have the attack token, summon the Ghostly Band. What that is a 1/2/1 ephemeral hallowed. So whenever this dies, it's going to give you hallowed. Just in case you don't know what hallowed does, as it says there, when they die for the rest of the game, when allies attack, you hallow the first attacker, giving it +1 this round. And so that is +1 for each unit that had hallowed that died. So as your units die, you're actually buffing up your units when you attack. Needlework is the 2-star, so it gives you that +1 starting mana, and then when your leftmost attacker gains power from hallowed, so does the attacker on its right. So essentially, your first 2 cards on the left, when they attack, they both get that hallowed buff. This is also a good time to mention that with Gwen, when another ally gains power from hallowed, so does she. And then she has that drain 2 from the enemy nexus. Then when she levels up, it's drain 1 for every 2 power she has. So that's right where you're getting that natural sustain. So how this works is, it can be a little confusing. So if you have 2 people on the left attacking, and then you have Gwen further down the line, she's not going to get the hallowed buff from both of those. She's only going to get the shared buff from one of them. So what you want to do is you want to play a unit to the left, and then you want Gwen to be that second most left card. What this does is Gwen is going to get buffed from hallowed, and then she's going to get buffed from the first unit also having hallowed. So she's going to double dip and get that twice. Alright, so for the rank 3 power, you get the Ghostly Band every round, not just the round when you don't have the attack token. So that just makes your hallowed buff up faster, as well as just giving you that unit every round to attack or block with. So her star powers and the way they connect to her champion is very strong. Definitely good to have. And yeah, like I said, she's great with 3 stars, but just having 2 stars, she's still easily able to win any games. Let's go to her relics. This is what I'm using right now. So Spell Shield, Crown Guard Inheritance, and Troll King's Crown. So what this does is giving all your allies Overwhelm is very strong, especially since you're buffing up their attack so much. So just getting blocked out and not having all that damage go through definitely is rough, which is why Overwhelm is so good. And then Crown Guard Inheritance, why that is so good, is normally your first attack with Gwen, she'll be able to do the 10 damage on her first round, and then you can attack again. Now the way Hallowed works is it buffs you for that round, not for that attack. So if you're able to attack a second time, you're having your stats buffed from the first time you attacked with Hallowed, and then you're getting them buffed again by attacking the second time. So normally, by having this rally when you level up, it just makes it so that you end the game usually the first time you attack with Gwen. If not the first time, then generally the second time. So that's really good. Gale Force can be good just to get that second attack anyways. It's not quite as good as someone on like Jax, because since she's 4 mana, there's a little bit more pricey, but it's not bad. Having Challenger is always nice. Having either Stalker's Blade or the Gatebreaker just to further level her up more quickly can also be very nice. But there's a lot of different relics that can work well with her. I definitely recommend practicing and showing what you think works best, but this is just what I've found that wins games consistently. But there's, like I said, many different ways to build her. I would normally talk about what cards to cut, but like I said before, I think she has a really, really good deck, especially once you have all of the items on it from leveling them up. Atrocity, if you don't have the double time watch, you might want to cut just because it's pretty expensive. So if you find that you're winning games without ever even getting to the 7 mana, which is most games, you might want to consider cutting it if you're not having any problems and you don't need that extra win condition. It is still nice to have in your back pocket though, and especially once you get the double time watch, it's very good to have. And then the Undying can be very helpful to you, gives you a unit you can sacrifice with your Glimpse to get more draw, but it's one that even though I do use it quite often, if I had to cut something, it would probably be that or Sapling Toss. But again, those both are actually quite handy and good in many situations. So normally I don't actually end up cutting like any cards from her starter deck, and normally it's just any extra cards I pick up along the way that don't help out. Alright, but that is Gwen's star powers, starting deck, relics. Let's jump back into the powers you can get in game that really, really help Gwen. Gwen powers. So there's many powers that can work out well with Gwen, but these are two that I feel like work the best. So Rally, being able to attack and get that Hallowed buff consistently every round is definitely something you're wanting to get. Just helps you win games and close them out much more quickly. And then the best defense. This is amazing for Gwen because what this does is when your units are buffed in their attack with Hallowed and having more attack than normal, that grows their power to match it, and so it gives your units that you're giving that Hallowed buff just massive survivability, and especially with Gwen, she essentially becomes unkillable because she just has a huge amount of health. And so these are the two powers I feel really stand out above the other ones, other than maybe just some legendary powers. So these are ones that if you see them in game, they're rare, so they're still relatively common. These are ones you definitely want to pick up with Gwen, so definitely keep an eye out for these. Also, having the Overwhelm on your units can be nice if you're not giving them that with Gwen. But since if you have Troll King's Crown, then you don't really need to worry about that. And there are plenty, like I said, of other powers you can use. These are just the ones that stand out over the competition. Alright, thank you for watching. These have been the powers that you can get with Gwen. And let's head up to the outro page. Thank you so much for watching this video. Definitely like, comment, and subscribe. We're just starting out here on YouTube, so we're trying to grow this channel. If you liked it, yeah, please like the video and comment what you did like about it. If there's something that you didn't like, definitely comment down below, and I'll be reading through all your comments and just trying to improve the channel. But thank you so much for watching. I hope I see you around the channel, and have a great day.